Thank you, Marcia. And thank you, Dick, for your longtime leadership in this area. And I also want to thank Brian and Maureen as well for bravely sharing their son's heartbreaking stories. And I know that you do it for one reason, and that is to make sure that it doesn't happen to anyone else. I also want to thank Ashley, who's here, because with her experience as a former Attorney General, I think she's seen this firsthand, what happens with many of these cases, as has Senator Blumenthal and myself. No parent and no child should have to experience the stories that you're about to hear. And that is because the social media companies, these humongous companies, are not standing up and stopping it. These companies have worked, in fact, to attract children to their platforms by using algorithms that increase their own profits, but at the expense of increasing the risk of sexual exploitation and facilitate bullying and illicit drug sales. We're going to hear from two whistleblowers today at our hearing, and they have seen up close how Meta turned a blind eye when researchers called this to their attention. They actively suppressed research into safety issues faced by young users, including on the metaverse, as outlined in a lengthy and thorough Washington Post story just yesterday. After Frances Haugen revealed that Meta knew its platform harmed young girls, it made changes not to protect children, but to protect itself. Meta focused on establishing a plausible deniability by blocking research that showed that its virtual reality products were harmful to kids. While there are all kinds of things the metaverse gave us with bells and whistles and ways to connect and entertainment, sadly, it also provides a lifelike venue for adult abusers to find and exploit kids. That exploitation crosses into the real world. It's not all fun and games. It's not a fake. The Washington Post report showed two particularly disturbing stories. A 48-year-old man allegedly exploited a 9-year-old girl on a virtual reality platform, asking for explicit photos and inviting her to his actual home. A 25-year-old man was convicted of kidnapping a 13-year-old after interacting with her through Meta's VR products. But Meta still pushed for new features to attract young users and to allow younger and younger kids into their virtual reality platforms. A Meta employee estimated over 80% of users in some of the virtual rooms were underage. 80% of the users. You have seen lawsuits by 42 state AGs, both Democratic and Republican. You have seen suits by people all over this country that have been affected by this. But clearly, what we're doing now is not enough. In 2022, social media platforms generated $11 billion in revenue from ads targeted to kids and teens, including nearly $2 billion in ad revenue from kids and users that were 12 and under. So our colleagues, we have worked for years to try to resolve this. We have put in bill after bill after bill. We did finally pass the Take It Down Act, a bill that Senator Cruz and I led, that would force the platforms to take down either real or AI-created images of pornography within 48 hours, regardless of age. That bill just passed, and the president signed it into law. But we must pass the Kids Online Safety Act that Senator Blumenthal and Senator Blackburn lead. It did pass the Senate by a 91-3 vote last Congress, and we must do all we can to get that passed. I would also repeal Section 230. If a child is hurt by a faulty appliance, that company can be sued. If a child is pushed to self-harm or worse by a social media platform, it is nearly impossible for families to hold those platforms accountable. I believe that must change. One parent one time told me that her trying to get her kids off these platforms that were designed to be addictive, she would rely on her older kid who was like 15 to help with the 8-year-old. And she finally said, I just can't do it. It's like a faucet is running water and I can't turn it off, and it's overflowing on the floor, and I'm just standing out here with a mop. And we need to give these parents more than mops, and so let's pass their bill. Thank you.